we are in a world towards distributed computing, right? 2G was about voice. Long are those days gone. Data, 2x data. And then there was the cloud, and now edge. And as we connect more and more things, we're really getting to a fundamental shift in what 5G is. It's as much about computing as it is about communication. So when we talk about climate impact and 5G, we have to look at both of it together. And with that in mind, the other thing that is happening is the world, or how we do it, is changing. There was a time when it was like 6 months push-to-talk advertisements in the 1990s or so. Now you can do it in hours, minutes even. This flexibility comes because we have a much more open system, but it's also a software-enabled system, and the entire network is very different from the days when it was all precision equipment, right? And this revolution continues. The players in this ecosystem also change. And given 5G is very compute intensive, and we talk about ubiquitous computing, I will also focus a little bit from the compute aspects of how we actually have to solve this problem. Why are we here? We all know why we are here. But I want to talk about why we are here. Because we also have a role to play, right? We contribute to this. If you look at the ICT electricity usage, and the US is a disproportionate share of this, it's only growing exponentially. Sure, we have techniques, beamforming, you name it, device-to-device communications. But our use of it, we are enabling a society that is intelligent, mobile, connected, devices that are connected, which means our use of it is growing. So as much as we are improving how we design things, we still have a long way to go. And so if you look at the 5G projections, right, because we live in a connected world, we have more to contribute. Now, one of the graphs you see, it's basically about wind and solar. The good news is there's a lot of renewable energy. That's another thing I wanted to point out. We talk a lot about data centers consuming a lot of electricity. Let's look at the network usage. It's even higher than the data center, no matter what estimates you look at, which means there's a financial, operational, business, and use case incentive to solve this problem. And whenever we put our minds to something, we solve it. As Meredith was talking, right? Look at the pandemic. This industry played the pivotal role in helping education and many other aspects. So similarly, this is actually an opportunity because there's a business, financial, use case, and all of these imperatives that are together. And so that's why we're here. We heard a lot about how the 5G ecosystem can contribute to sustainability, right? There's all these use cases. And personally, I'm in Portland, Oregon, and we had 117-day degrees in June last year. We actually broke all records in recorded history, and we had snow 2-3 weeks ago. So we live this problem from a day to day, and on top of it, there's a drought, right? And so things like precision agriculture and help the farmer, help the wells from becoming dry, and help in so many different ways. So I'm very, very optimistic that, as you heard from Nicholas and everyone else, about all these different verticals and how each vertical is going to go take advantage of the technology to make it more efficient and better, whether it's cities, manufacturing, transportation, agriculture, and on and on. So there's a lot of work that this ecosystem can do because of the information that goes with it. Data centers have been looking at this problem for a long while. We at Intel have to look at the PC design, the data center design, and as we work with hyperscalers, one of the challenges is renewable energy, the location of renewable energy, and when it's produced may or may not coincide with high usage or when it's needed, called the stranded energy problem. So a response to it is more carbon responsive computing, which means we are looking at things on how we can have them be time shifted, the workloads, or space shifted, run elsewhere. These and other techniques, including the designs, actually directly apply to the networks because, as we explained before, right, the networks is as much about computing, especially as we head even beyond 5G, as it is about communications. Here's the other thing that's very exciting. If you look at all the